hanging out, and I am in the Laughing Place garden. And I know it's Sunday, y'all are due for a dumpster diving video, and I have one for you. And apologies for the noise out here, probably the air conditioner and neighbors' music. It's a just absolutely gorgeous early summer, like beautiful evening, and the weather today has been amazing. We were at like 104, 110 degrees Fahrenheit, for like a week at least. And it was like brutal. And now today, I think the high was like 75 Fahrenheit. So, hello, Renee. Thank you so much for being here. So, anyhow, apologies for the background noise, but I'm outside. I could not, there was no way that I was gonna live stream indoors when we have this amazing day outside. I wanted to be out here. Anyway, hello, Shatika. Alfie, my love, hello. Thanks for being here, guys, and thanks for bearing with me and accepting that I didn't put the diving video up today. That will go up tomorrow. I promise it will go up tomorrow. Hi, Vicky. Oh, Vicky, I'm so glad you're here. And there's Pamela. Good evening to you. There's just so much going on in the world, and I have a can opener for a reason. This is like the family can opener. This was sorry for my dirty fingernails. I have been gardening today in this glorious weather. So, yeah. Oh, Bonnie. Why aren't you a moderator? What's going on? I don't know. Hello, Courtney. I'm so glad you're here. This is weird. Let me click on you. Okay, now you are. I don't know. What was that about? That is really weird. I did not take you off as a monitor. Nope, absolutely not. Nope. So pardon the dirty nails. But yeah, lots of gardening in this glorious weather. And then I have this old school can opener that has been in my family for 1,100,000 years. And I'm going to be using it because we're having a cold one. Bonnie, I fixed it. It shows up on here now. So I don't know what that was about, but I promise you I did not do that. And I am so grateful for you being a moderator and all that you do. Phyllis, I'm so glad you had a wonderful birthday. Glad to hear that. Many returns of the day. Oh, Rhonda, so you got our hot weather, because I was just saying that it was so freaking hot here for like a week and a half. It was just treacherous. 105, 110 degrees Fahrenheit. And now today, I think the highest was like 75-ish. So I've been outside, I've been gardening, and we're live streaming outside because it is just such a damn beautiful day. Yeah, Renee, those it is amazing. He's 16, guys. It's bizarre and it's wild, but yeah. Alyssa, you are here in Utah, so you know it has been crazy. We have been having these like wild windstorms, and I just got back from camping up on Mount Timpanogos. Let me get my drinky drink. Tell me what you guys are drinking. I am working on finishing my 6-pack of these that I was working on finishing like last week and the week before. I had one while we went camping. So we were camping with James's family's annual camping family reunion. It was so beautiful, but boy, do I have stories. Oh my God, do I have stories. But it was crazy windstorms, like downing trees and stuff like that. Wild. We thought our tent was just going to blow all the way away. Ooh, the air conditioner went quiet. Nice. There will still be background noise because I'm outside and it's a gorgeous evening and people are out. So bear with me. But anyway, I've got stories for you. Oh, Bonnie, you be careful with your heat advisories. You be careful. Oh, Renee, that's lovely. She made Phyllis lasagna and strawberry upside down cake for her birthday. Alyssa says no adult beverages. for me today. Did some muddy shots last night. Sounds fabulous. Uh, John Durham, cooking and fun. I'm sick with a sore throat. John, I'm sorry to hear that. What a bummer. What a bummer. I was dealing with lots of allergies and then a cold and all that. And today I actually feel pretty dang good. And I'm so grateful. Hello, Judy. Thank you so much for being here. Renee, I don't know where Kitty is. I don't know. She's just coming and going and coming and going and coming and going. And she just lives her own life. And especially in this weather. John, I feel ya. If you've, I don't know if you, how long you've been with us, John, but, hold on, let me fix the comment section. My bad. Okay, you guys, um, you have like 3 seconds if you want to be part of this. You have like 3 seconds to subscribe. Okay. If you don't want to, that's fine too. I mean, you can hang out, you just won't be able to comment. But to help my moderators, I'm going to go ahead and change this to subscribers only. So you've got till I'm done with this little sip here. We'd love to have you in the comment section. If you're good and you're kind and you're not spammy and you're not gross, we would absolutely love to have you. 3, 2, 1. Okay, there we go. Make that a little easier for our, what do you call it? Moderators. Anyway. Oh, well, I'm so glad that you subscribed, John. And so, anyway, myself, I deal with a couple of chronic illnesses, and they are, they mess with your life. I've also been dealing with a lot of injuries, some crazy injuries that I've had the past several years. And so I feel you. We do the best we can when we can. I have a procedure tomorrow that I'm a little nervous about. We're going to be working on my hips with wet needling to help with all the shredded tendons from bone spurs on my hips. Anyway, it's going to be good. It's going to be so good. Actually, it's going to be miserable. It's going to be straight up miserable. It's going to be miserable. I might bring you guys along over on my other channel, my current obsession, my grown-up channel, that here and there I get to. Lately, I've mostly just been doing cottage wife stuff and cottage garden stuff, but I've got things to talk to you about, so stay tuned over there. Oh, Bonnie, good for you. Good for you. Bonnie is waiting in a parking lot, waiting for Aldi to close to go hit it up. I was so bummed when I was down in California for the funeral the other weekend, and that amazing day at Disney. We were driving and everything, and of course, they have Aldi everywhere, but I wasn't in my element, and didn't have anything with me, no gloves, no grabber, nothing. So, and I didn't have time. There was not time to go diving, but it was like so painful seeing all of these Aldis. Yeah. Oh, Renee, the lingering coughs. Speaking of which, I'm telling you, the lingering coughs, they are some of the worst. They are some of the worst. So I hope you get feeling better from that real soon. All right, so what are we doing today? So I know Sunday, normally it's a dumpster diving video, and I apologize, but there are a few things. There's a few things. One, we have a lot going on here in the US of America. There are things happening and that are happening right now or just happened last night or whatever, and I don't want to get too much into that. You guys know I don't want to be political on here. I try so hard to not, okay? But there's so much going on, and some of it is just overwhelming and scary. God, super scary and bewildering and all of those things, okay? And so I was kind of struggling with a lot of that, a lot of doom scrolling, until I dragged myself out and started pulling weeds and, doing some gardening and taking advantage of this just like amazing day that we are having here in Utah. And then also, we went camping this weekend and and it was absolutely wonderful. It was glorious. But a situation happened, and I am okay. If you don't want to see, how am I going to do this? All right. I don't want to get demonetized. If you don't want to see a boo boo, an owie that happened on our camping trip, close your eyes for the next like 6 seconds. Okay. But if you want to see it, you've been warned. It's something. Okay. So ready for 6 seconds. Close your eyes. 3, 2, 1. That happened. I don't know how well you can see that. But that happened this weekend. That happened yesterday, actually. And last night I had to have pain medicine just to go to sleep. It was rough, and it is very swollen, very bruised, very dramatic looking. Of course it is, because it's me. But I have I have a lot. It sucks. Okay, it does. But it actually is an amazing thing. And that's going to sound weird, but it's part of why we're live streaming today, because even with all the scary and the wild and the things beyond our control and all of that, and even with this, okay, I am feeling so much gratitude, so much happiness, so much of a positive perspective on life because of this. And I want to tell you the story. So, apologies if I'm not in the comments. I promise you, I will. I will come back to the comments and I'll get caught up, but I have to tell the story, okay? So, we go camping. And it's my husband's family's yearly family reunion camping trip. It's gorgeous. Mount Timpanogos here in Utah. Highly recommend it. Sorry for the background noise. It's the weekend. People are out doing stuff. That's a particularly horrible sound, though. Sounds like a saw of some kind. So we're out camping, and we decide to go hiking. And this is the first year in several years that I'm able to do the active family stuff, not in a boot, not on crutches, not on a cane, not on a knee scooter, all of that. And so I get really intrepid and enthusiastic, and we end up climbing the God, what is it called? Scout Falls. And it's on Mount Timpanogos, and it's the Scout Falls Trail, and it is absolutely gorgeous. But I remember it not being nearly as difficult of a hike. But of course, I was a little bit younger. I was quite a bit lighter. We're talking like, I don't know, 30 pounds lighter, and younger. Anyway, so we, as the whole family, a whole bunch of us, we do this hike, and James, my husband, and he stays with me in the very back. Everyone knew I said from the beginning, I'm going to be very slow. Don't wait for me. You guys go on, enjoy the beauty, look for this and this and this, have so much fun. And James stayed with me. And it was so hard. It was so rough, and I almost quit, like, I don't know how many times. And then I told myself, okay, well, we're at the very least going to get to this little waterfall that's on the right side of the trail, because like on the left side it's kind of a sheer drop, but on the right side there are lots of little mini waterfalls. And there's one, and I'll put up pictures and stuff and video and stuff of this over on my Current Obsession, that's my other channel. But there's one that is so gorgeous, and the rocks, I don't know if this was natural or if the National Guard who built it, if they did this. If they did, thank you. But you can sit down, you can sit in the waterfall. And I did, of course I did. Sorry for that saw noise, I don't know what they're working on. But anyhow, so my thing, I changed my goal to, I'm gonna make it to that waterfall that I could sit down in. And God, like, so many times we just, and James was like, all right, you ready to turn back? Because he saw how much I was struggling and suffering. And I was like, no, I'm here. I have to at least get to that waterfall. And so we push and we push and we push. And then, oh my God, we get to that. And I sit down in it and I just have this emotional, just, I'm just bursting, I just melt into just tears and almost hyperventilating because luckily there's nobody around. Because it was so overwhelming and wonderful and beautiful. And I was so happy to have reached that. And so then James is like, well, let's, head back down. And then I was like, no, I want to keep going. And, there's the, you got to be able to walk tomorrow and those kinds of, those kind of thoughts, very reasonable thoughts. And I was like, no, I'm going to go as far as I can go. I might not be able to get right into the Scout Falls, which is like the final destination. You're like on the rocks in the falls, where I've been many, many times before. And I was like, I might not get to that, but I'm going to get right to the scramble, which is these rocks there's two ways to get up to this falls, and the scramble or like just a regular trail. And I was like, I've got to at least get up to the scramble. Well, okay. So it was awful. And so many times James is like, you can turn around. We still have camping tomorrow. We, whatever. And I said, no, I'm here. I've already come this far. I want to do it. And we did. We made it to the scramble, and I even made it 3/4 of the way up the scramble of boulders and rocks. And then Reagan, my son, was up there at the top, and he was like waving his arms no at me. And you guys know he's my dumpster diving partner, and I've learned to listen to him, okay, and to heed his wisdom when he tells me, Mom, stop, Mom, whatever. And so he was saying stop. Okay, well, James found, and then Mariah had come down to find us at that point, because everyone else was already up there and they were like getting ready to leave. So she came and found us, and that was lovely. And then James found this beautiful lookout with this lovely big flat rock, and it was really a cold rock with a lovely little mossy waterfall that looked like where fairies would live right next to it. And you had a beautiful view of Scout Falls. And so we just got up there and kind of, sprawled out, and it was beautiful. It was beautiful, and I loved it. So then we somehow get down from there. Excuse me, and it was amazing. It was amazing. Well, of course, the next day, excuse me, I'm very sore, but it's our last day, and then we're going home, and we decide to hit up Cascade Springs, which is on like the other side of the mountain in a different like little valley up, American Fork Canyon here in Utah. And so we go, and I am having just the most wonderful time. This is a place I haven't been in years, but I used to bring my kids there all the time. And we hiked everywhere in that canyon, and we did all these different things. But Cascade Springs is a lot more mellow. There's like paved trails and boardwalks, and it's glorious. I highly recommend looking up Cascade Springs in American Fork, Utah, and it's glorious. Glorious. So anyhow, in fact, I have videos of it on here somewhere. So anyway, we take with my brother, not my brother, my husband's brother and his family, and then our family. Everyone else has gone home, but we decide, our two families, we're going to go to Cascade Springs, and we go, and it's wonderful. And you just kind of walk and enjoy all these, there's informational signs. It's it's in a national park. And so you just enjoy all this, and it's so beautiful. And I'm thinking all these glorious thoughts. And then I'm walking and talking with my sister-in-law, and she's a delight. She's a treasure. And I made a mistake. I am walking, talking, and looking. And there's so much to look at. And it's so beautiful. And we're having the most glorious time. But the trail is paved, and then on the sides, it's kind of a, it's rounded, and then there's the dirt. And the trail had started turning a little. just barely, just the slightest. It was just veering, not even turning, just veering a little to the left. And I'm talking and I'm looking and I'm enjoying, and I rolled my right ankle. It's the one that I broke and went misdiagnosed for 6 months. And by the time I got into surgery, it was necrotic on the left side and regrown on the right side. And I had to have all these pieces removed, and I had to have my foot rebuilt. And there's titanium in there, among other fibers and materials. And then I went through a hellish 2 year recovery, endless physical therapy, and of course, residual pain. Um, there were other people coming towards us, and plus there was our group kind of spread out along the trail, but then other people, strangers, when this happened. So of course there was an audience, but that's not the whatever. Worst part is none of them recorded it, so I have no video for you. It rolled. My ankle just rolled off of the side of the trail. It's like a curve, and it just rolled. And James and I had been talking the day before on that massive hike about how to fall. And he'd been telling me, you got to get your weight off of that foot, off of that ankle. The second you start falling, get off of, do this, do that, whatever. And I was listening, but we're also hiking, and I didn't feel like any of it had like sunk in, any of the stuff he was talking about. And I don't remember in that split second that my ankle was rolling, I don't recall doing anything intentionally, but I must have subconsciously responded to the fact that I was falling, besides, the swearing and the yelling, not this foot. Loud enough for the world to hear, not this foot. Sorry, if you're new here, you won't know that that injury took like 2 years of my life, 2 years of my family's life. So it was shit, okay? And I will never like 100% recover physically, mentally, emotionally. I will never fully recover from it, okay? So anyway, I rolled, and then I fell forward, but then spun, is what everyone told me. I spun around and landed on my back. And that injury that I showed, if you're wondering what I'm talking about, go back a little ways, but be warned, it's pretty rough. There's some really good road rash on the front of my left leg. My left leg took the brunt of it, and it's quite swollen, and it's graphic. Okay, and last night was misery. Quite a bit better today. But my foot, my right foot, the one I had rebuilt, the one that rolled, was it a little sore? It was a little sore. Not broken, not even a sprain. This swelling and road rash, I can recover from that. I can continue on. And I did. They helped me up. I had to reassure a couple of people, I'm okay, I'm all right. Strangers, they were like, oh my God, because it was dramatic, and I was bleeding, bleeding down my leg, and it looked really bad. At first it looked really bad, and just the way that my ankle rolled and the everything. Anyway, and I explained to them, I'm like, no, it's okay. This was dramatic, but I had this foot rebuilt, and that's why, I kind of freaked out, but I'm okay. I promise I'm okay. And, people were just so incredibly kind. so incredibly generous as I have this, you know, whatever. Anyway, this episode, and it scared, oh, I feel so bad. It scared my nieces and nephews, the little ones, it scared them. And it scared Mariah, my daughter, and it scared my husband. Because, like I said, this took, when I broke it and everything that came with that, took years of our lives. I was on a couch for what, like 6 months as this foot tried to connect to these new bionic parts and rebuild and regrow, and then 18 months of physical therapy. And anyway, so it was traumatic. It just was, okay? It was traumatic for all of us, and unfortunately for the people around us too. But I wanted so much to reassure the little kids, and I got up and I hugged them, and I'm okay and it's all right. And, tried to redirect them to some signs of stuff. And sorry that Aunt Julie said all those naughty words. Forget all those naughty words. And one of them was like, you said a lot. And James is over there kind of joking. He's kind of catching my, what I'm trying to do to, whatever, bring some light in the mood a little bit, because my family, the ones with us, they all know as well what we went through, and he's like, yep. And then she's just, the words just keep coming, and because a swear would pop out as I'm doing whatever I'm doing, and he's like, and then there's more, and just joking about it. And it was at that point that well, we kind of got everyone kind of calmed down, and we start going again, and then we end up on a bridge. Because I'm telling you, Cascade Springs in Utah, glorious. You have to see it. Well, anyway, we end up on this bridge, and I told you guys I was bleeding and all that. I didn't know. I was so, I was in shock. I was in kind of a trauma, whatever, triggery kind of place. I was so, I was just in kind of a survive and ignore and redirect and kind of a thing, because I did not want to just totally melt down in front of these strangers. And I didn't even cry. I didn't even cry when all this happened. I didn't even cry. I just got up and we kept going, right? Because I didn't want a public display of all of that. Okay. So so we keep going, and as we're on this little bridge, my sister-in-law or whatever was saying, how great it was that it, wasn't worse, and my, right foot and da-da-da. And she's like, but yeah, you really did it on your leg and you're still bleeding. And I was like, what? When you're kind of in shock and there's all the adrenaline. But then as soon as you see the blood, you guys know, we all know, as soon as you see the blood, you see the injury, then boom, your body's like, okay, well, now you get to deal with it. And I looked down, and there was blood running down my leg from all these. I mean, like I said, if you go back a little ways in the live stream, then you can see it. And it looks a lot better today. Other than it's way more swollen and bruised today, but, and it'll get more colorful as the days go by, but it's not like a gory mess like it was yesterday. But I was just bleeding down my leg, and I hadn't felt it. I hadn't noticed it. I had nothing. And all I had with me, we had first aid in the car, in James's car, but I didn't have anything on me, because it's the most gentle little place, and you're not hiking, you're not nothing. All I had was like a handkerchief, because anytime I'm hiking or I'm exploring or whatever, I have a handkerchief with me. And unfortunately, it wasn't even terribly clean, but I just like patted the dripping blood off, so that because we were still going to be there another like 20 minutes. And as I'm walking around, like, I don't want people saying, oh, there's this lady with, because everyone's there with their kids and whatever. And there's this lady with blood running down her leg, So I tried to mop up some of that without getting bacteria into the open wounds. God. So, so all that happened. And it was It was rough, but we did it, and then we left. We got hot. Well, we stopped in Midway, Utah, at this like um, cheese factory, not cheesecake factory, but a cheese, actual cheese factory, and we had amazing grilled cheese sandwiches and some of the best ice cream I've ever tasted. And then we came home, and we unpacked, and we, you know, put a lot of stuff away, and then it just really hit me, and it hurt so much. Oh my God. But luckily I had some pain medicine, and I, was cleaning it, and, whatever. Sleeping last night was pretty rough. But this morning, I I had this overwhelming sense of gratitude, and this connection formed in my brain. And the only person I've told about it till now is Mariah, and I might do a video about it over on my current obsession. We'll see. But but I've been thinking about it all day. And then with everything going on in the world, with everything going on in the US, with everything, all the scary, all the things we don't have control of, the things we're worried about, the just everything. I had this moment of just so much gratitude, and this correlation, this parallel situation hit me over the head. So a few years ago, the kids, James and I, we were hiking in Mapleton Canyon here in Utah on one of my favorite trails. And it was the first time hiking in a long time. Just like the day before yesterday was the first time hiking in a long time. And it was the month of June, just like now. And I was feeling so good, so ready to conquer, and to, even if I didn't finish the entire trail, I wanted to get up to my fern forest. This trail had just a glorious forest of ferns that was one of my favorite parts of the entire trail, and even had a bench there so you could sit in this forest of ferns and just be there. And I was bound and determined, I'm going to get to that fern forest. But I didn't. I was really struggling. It was rough, just like yesterday, day before yesterday, the hike day before yesterday. We went on crazy up to Scout Falls. Lunacy picking that hike for my first hike in a long time. But anyway, and this trail that we were on a couple of years ago in June wasn't even as intense or crazy as this one that we did day before yesterday. But anyways, so a few years ago in June, doing this trail, first time hiking in a long time, and I get to a certain point, and James, my husband, is like, hey, you still gonna be able to walk tomorrow. And this is your first time back in a long time, and you don't want to overdo it, because then you're not going to be able to or want to hike again, because you're going to be so worn out and you're going to be so sore. And I was like, yeah, that sucks. And I kept pushing for a while. And then finally I was like, you know what? You're right. I'll come back like day after tomorrow. I'll come back. So we climbed down. Sorry about noises. Like I said, we're outside. People are outside. I didn't get to the fern forest. And I was really frustrated about that, but I was like, I'll come back day after tomorrow. I don't have anything going on that day. And so I'll come and I'll try this hike again. The next day, I was out in the front yard. We had taken out the big tree in the front yard, and we had a bunch of rocks. and they were all piled there. Judy, you're gonna have to go backward, my love. Um, we had all these rocks from the rock wall and other projects, and they were all piled where the tree stump was. And up on the tree stump, while it was dying, I had put a flower pot, and I wanted to do some stuff with it. And so I'm out there and I'm wearing my Mickey and Minnie Crocs because I was a Croc girl. Loved me some Crocs, especially Mickey and Minnie ones, right? I mean, you know. And so I was all done, and I was starting to climb back down. And then I remembered, oh, you didn't put the things back in. I wanted to make like a little wigwam to help. Anyway, so I go back and I do that, and then I start climbing down this pile. And while I'm kind of climbing down in Crocs, I turn to look back at it because I was thinking about it and what I want to do next. And so as I'm coming down this pile of rocks, I looked back, and my right foot landed on one pretty flat, loose rock. And the rock, it just flew, and my right foot, I'll show you, say this is my leg and this was my foot. It rolled all the way up in to the inside of my leg. It rolled, and it came all the way up and hit the inside of my leg. And I fell and landed in that little walkway, and just, I had never felt pain like that. And I've pushed out 3 babies, and on the third one, the epidural didn't do what it was supposed to do. I had never felt anything like that. And I screamed for Olivia, who happened to be home, and she came and helped me hop into the house. Well, to make a long story short, I ended up with an ambulance. They pumped me full of some fentanyl because I couldn't even breathe. I couldn't breathe. James came running home. I got taken out of the house on this really weird chair stretcher thing. And they told me it was a bad sprain. Even with x-rays, come to find out years later, I find out they didn't even x-ray my foot. They only x-rayed like the top of my ankle. So they didn't see that it was severely broken on both sides of my foot. 6 weeks later, in just a little brace, not even a boot, it had only gotten worse. I went back to their Instacare. They did more x-rays. They put me in a boot, and they said, well, it's just a really aggressive sprain. After 6 months, I couldn't take it anymore. I was still in a boot that I was supposed to be in for 6 weeks. And I finally went to a foot surgeon, and he said, it's most likely a Lisfranc fracture. And I had an MRI, and it, the MRI showed it was most likely a Lisfranc, which is a really extreme injury, but it wasn't the only thing that had happened. So we go into surgery like 2 weeks later, and it's supposed to be an hour and a half in and out surgery, hour and a half, with, a few months recovery. It ended up being 5.5 hours of surgery. And when I came out, found out that the left side of my foot was just marshmallow, and the right side of my foot had grown a whole bunch of like extra bone, so much that there was like this big piece of bone on the outside of it. So bone had to be removed over there, and the left side had to be completely rebuilt. The left and into the middle of my foot had to be rebuilt, and I was in for a minimum 18-month recovery. All of that, all of that. Why am I telling that whole story? Well, one, it's good to get it out sometimes, because I live with it every day, and what we went through and the trauma of it. But also because of the parallel. So those years ago, in June, I went hiking. And I hadn't been hiking in a long time, but I was like, I'm going to do it. And I stopped, and I didn't get to my fern forest. I'll come back day after tomorrow. I couldn't come back day after tomorrow, because the next day I destroyed my foot. This time, it's June, day before yesterday, and I'm hiking again for the first time in forever. And I'm told the same thing. You got to be able to walk tomorrow. So you might as well turn around. You can come back and finish it another time. But I said, no, I have to finish it. What if there's not tomorrow? What if there's not day after tomorrow? So I did. And then what the hell happened the next day? What happened the next day? Well, the next day, I roll this fucking ankle. But this time, it was like something in the universe said, I don't know what it said, but this time, I didn't stop. I kept going. And yeah, I got hurt again. And my left leg looks terrible. And Judy and Dennis and anyone else that came in late, you're gonna have to go back in the video to see what the hell happened to my left leg. It took one for the team. And it's bruised and it's swollen and it is shredded. Looks like Freddy Krueger just came in and I'm so grateful for my left leg. And my right foot, yeah, it rolled. Not that bad. And I thought that today it would be so sore because it was a pretty significant roll. It's not sore at all. I'm even in flip-flops. My left leg hurts like a son of a whore, but I thought I was gonna, oh, Renee, you'll have to go back. I showed it for like 5 seconds because I don't want to get demonetized. So you'll have to, I'm sorry, babe, you'll have to go back. You'll have to go back, but it's like 5 seconds that you'll see it because I don't want to get demonetized. I will make a video about it over on my current obsession and show you all the gory details, but I can keep going with this. Yeah, it hurts, surely. And last night, God, it hurt. Not nearly as bad today. And I had thought that my right ankle was going to be so sore because of all of the damage from before and everything we went through, that, you know, I thought it was going to be so susceptible and it's going to just, you know, beat the shit out of my, sorry, we're not censoring anymore. Just beat the hell out of my right ankle, and I'm going to have to sleep with like a brace, and I need to ice it, and it's going to be rough tomorrow and all of this. I forgot to put ice on it. I was in too much pain on the left leg, and so I was just dealing with that. I forgot to put ice. I forgot to put on a brace. And I woke up this morning. It's not stiff. It's not sore. What is the point of all that? In a time in our existence here, in a world that is out of our control, with crazy shit going on, crazy shit that we have no say in, there are things to be so grateful for. And sometimes you're still gonna get hurt. You're still gonna get hurt. So you gotta keep going. And those dreams you have, and those mountains you want to climb, and that waterfall you want to get to, keep going. It's gonna be rough. It'll be rough. I don't know how many times I stopped and like leaned over on my hiking sticks to just catch my breath as we were hiking and hiking and hiking there in Timpanuki. So not exactly how it's pronounced, but that's like the nomenclature. That's just kind of the way we say it, is Timpanuki there on Timpanogos in American Fort Canyon, Utah. Highly recommend. The Scout Falls Trail. I don't know how many times I stopped and just leaned on my hiking sticks, and James saying, you don't have to do this, we can, and I had to do it, and you have to do it. We don't know if we're going to have tomorrow. We don't know if tomorrow we'll be able to do it. We don't know if we have the day after tomorrow to come back and do that thing, that dream, that goal, that whatever. You don't know what's going to happen. And it was wild to me how these hit, that it was these parallel journeys, so many parallels. It was wild. And it brought me to so many different emotions and thoughts and feelings and trauma, but also hope and gratitude that this time, one, I kept going. Okay, I kept going. And I sat in that waterfall on the way up and on the way down. And I got up to Scout Falls, and it was gorgeous. As always, it was beautiful. Maybe more beautiful than I remembered. I didn't turn back. Still got hurt the next day. Just like last time. Different trail, different getting hurt situation, but the exact same ankle, foot, whatever, exact same, rolling it, whatever, but somehow subconsciously, whatever the things that James was telling me and advising me the day before on the hike must have come into play, because I, instead of just sliding with it, I spun. I don't remember spinning. I don't remember my left leg, sliding across the asphalt. I don't remember that. I have no memory of that. No memory of spinning. But obviously I did it. I have memory of the foot rolling. That's all I have memory of. And then them helping me up. I remember saying, not this foot, loud enough for the world to hear. What is the point? The point is, I'm grateful. I feel such immense gratitude. And it's also been an opportunity to address lingering trauma. And a good reminder that I still have a long ways to go to work through. I have so much to work through. But I can keep doing that. I can keep working through it. And I can keep working towards my goals. And someday, God damn it, someday I am climbing that mountain. Mount Timpanogos. Someday I am getting to that summit. And I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop. And the world might fall apart around me. I mean, it might just burn down. There's a lot literally burning down. I can't control any of that. Neither can you. But I can control what I do in this world. Knowing that tomorrow something might roll. It might be a foot. Who knows? Anything could happen. So today, I gotta keep going. All of that to explain why I didn't put up the dumpster diving video today. I promise I'll put it up tomorrow. It's a good one. It's good stuff. But today I just wanted to connect with you. I just wanted to be together. I wanted to have a beer, to sit out here in this glorious, surprisingly cool day after crazy heat wave. I just want to be out here and be with you and just connect. Let's just connect. Let's just be here. Dumpster diving's still going to be there. You'll see it tomorrow, I promise. But today, I needed, for myself, some brevity, some levity. I needed to be out here in the laughing place garden and just be happy and just be grateful and just be, silly and just, drink a little. It's a beautiful thing. Oh, Renee, stop it. Renee is just hopping in there with a super chat of $4.99 saying, Julie, why are we upset? Don't cry. Too beautiful for that. Renee, my sweetness. Thank you for that. Life is beautiful. And it's these experiences and these things that we've overcome that are such a big part of making it beautiful. And sometimes the beauty comes out in tears. The gratitude comes out in tears. The life lessons come out in tears. Renee, that was so generous. Thank you for that. Sometimes you just gotta cry. But hopefully, while you're also crying, you're addressing your trauma. You're addressing your loss. You're addressing your fear, your worry, your despair, which I know a lot of us are feeling right now. I hope you are addressing it. Having that good cry. Having, whatever the beverage is of choice. But then that you keep going. And you find the beauty and you enjoy the beauty and you seize your moments and you just keep living for however long you have. None of us know. We don't know. We have no idea. But I commit to you and to myself that I'm going to, from here on out, I'm going to keep going. I'm just going to keep going and reach those goals and hit those milestones and fight for those dreams, knowing that we're not promised the day after tomorrow to finish that trail. And guess what? It gets crazier. It gets crazier. That trail a few years ago in June, where I didn't get to my fern forest because It was rough and it was hard, and I'll come back day after tomorrow. And then, of course, I destroyed my foot the next day. I had it in my head, well, when I heal from this, and when I can walk, and when I can climb, and when I can hike, maybe I'll be able to go back and do it. Someday I'll go back and do it. My husband, who is a mountain biker, he went up there not too long ago, a few months ago. And for better or worse, and for whatever reason, that particular portion of that trail is gone. If I could not make it any more poignant for you, that trail was bulldozed to expand the road. That portion with my fern forest that I never got to. That portion was bulldozed and made into a road. We literally don't know. We don't know. Don't put it off. If you can help it, if you can manage it, don't put it off. Because that thing, that person, that place, that whatever, by the time you're ready to try again, it might be gone. It might just be gone. It might not exist anymore for you to give it another try. That was good. I've got, I think, 2 left. It really bummed me out when I found out that they had bulldozed that section. And I think the sadness and the weight of that disappointment, that devastation, really drove me when I was climbing up in Timpanuki Scout Falls Trail the other day. It really drove me, trying to make up for something, make up for lost time, make up for lost opportunities, lost health, lost experiences, lost everything, trying to make up for it. Anyway, I think there's something in there, something of substance in this situation and these parallel experiences. And I wanted to share that with you today. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being part of it. Thanks for letting me get that out and you guys all being my therapist today. Life is beautiful. It really is. It's also terrible and tragic and devastating and sad and scary and all of that too. It is, and I acknowledge that. I know it is. But it's also beautiful. As promised, I'm going to go through the comments. We've got like 2 minutes. I don't know how far back I need to go, but hello, Denise. Thanks for being here. Brooke, so glad you could join us. Yeah, Rhonda, I have to be so careful walking, talking, and like looking around. I gotta be careful. Pamela asked, why is it always the injured part that gets the hits? You know when you bite part of the inside of your mouth and it's like swollen, and then no matter what you do, if you're eating anything but yogurt, you're gonna bite it again. It's a guarantee you're gonna bite it again. I don't know why. It's some cruel trick of the universe, evolution, biology, I don't know. But I hate it. I don't know why. Denise, did I say hi? Hello, Denise. Terry, I'm so glad you're here. Witch Hazel, I will keep that in mind. Rhonda, you better believe, absolutely, I left my DNA on that trail. Boy, did I. Cheese, ice cream. Oh, no. Pamela, it's a farm, and so it's milk products. So it wasn't cheese ice cream. I had a grilled cheese sandwich on sourdough, was amazing, and then I had space something, space debris ice cream, an entirely different thing. Milk products. It's just milk products. They were both amazing. Amazing. Midway, Utah. Gorgeous, quaint, cute little town, and their cheese factory. Highly recommend. Claudia, hello, my darling. I'm so glad you could join us. Judy, my love. Joe, I wish you the very best on that sunspot. Getting that taken care of, guys. Be careful. Wear your SPF. It's not just cancer that's the worry. You can also end up with all of this glorious sun damage. If you're late coming in, I know my fingernails are dirty. I've been gardening today. You gotta wear sunscreen. Diamonds and Drills, I'm so glad you could join us today. Alyssa, as you heard, it doesn't exist anymore, but I'm not going to miss out on any other trails, any other beautiful places. I'm hitting them. Yeah. Hollywood Art, it was the Mapleton Equestrian Trail, Mapleton Canyon Equestrian Trail, but it was a portion of it, not the entire thing, not the lower trail, and I don't know how much of the upper trail, but the portion that I was climbing is what got bulldozed. Yeah, Alyssa, that was a rough time. We got through it though. Yes. Oh God, we did persevere. Sometimes I didn't want to. I remember so many times, and Olivia will bring this up again now and then. If I complain about this thing with my body, with my feet, with whatever, she'll be like, but do you remember when you were laid out on the couch and there was like a bottle of rum next to you that was the only thing keeping you alive, and you just kept yelling, chop it off, just chop it off, regarding my right foot. There was a point where I was like, just chop that damn thing off. I can't do this. She'll remind me of that, and I'm glad she does. I need it sometimes to be reminded of just how far we've come. No, hallelujah, Renee, I did not hurt it again. I mean, I did. I rolled it, and I destroyed the front of my left leg. Not destroyed, but I made a very dramatic change to the front of my left leg. Because if I do anything, it's going to be, something. It's going to be dramatic. It's going to be cinematic. It's going to be something. But, no, it doesn't hurt at all today. Wild. Malpractice, Hollywood Art, Pamela, Bonnie. The problem, I guess I can talk about it now. It's been long enough. I did consult a lawyer, and the problem is in their notes at the ER and at the Instacare, they wrote that the patient talked about ankle pain, not foot pain. My foot, you guys have seen the pictures, the video. My foot was at least 2.5, maybe 3 times the size it should be. But because in the notes, yeah, the lawyer got a hold of all of the notes and the images and everything, because they noted that the patient said my ankle hurts and not specifically my foot that's ginormous and bruised and awful. That because I said, according to them, ankle and didn't say foot, that absolves them. If it wouldn't give away too many personal details and I try to keep some privacy, I would absolutely be shouting out that hospital and warning you all to never, I don't care what your emergency is, never to go to that hospital. I've had other experiences in their ER as well. Yeah, maybe we'll talk more, a little bit about that over on my current obsession. But yeah, we couldn't pursue the case because in their notes, ankle, not foot, even though my foot was this big. Yeah. Baby steps and live for today. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for the hugs, Alyssa. Pamela says a new goal for the 4th of July. Heck yeah. Might not be that exact day, but what the hell? Why not? I've got, we're doing wet needling in my hips tomorrow. So there'll be a recovery. Of course there will. But when I heal from that, oh yeah. Catalina, oh, your name is so gorgeous. Catalina Reyes. Oh my God, from El Paso, Texas. Being here. Claudia, step at a time. Literally, one step at a time. Oh, absolutely. Terry says, growing up, we had a culture that doctors can do no wrong. That is changing, and getting a second opinion is no longer an insurance annoyance or nor a faux pas. Oh my God, yes. Guys, if you are in pain and if the pain is not going away, and if you're a woman, which makes it 100 times worse because everyone looks at you like, really? Maybe it's all in your head. Have you talked to someone about this? Are you just being, I don't know, hysterical? Is it that time of the month? And other shit like that. You keep pushing and you find someone. You find someone who will actually listen to you and who will actually treat you. Oof. Oh, Michelle, that's gorgeous. Michelle, oh my God, thank you. Symbolic in a way for life. It's not how we fall, it's how we get up and move forward. That's beautiful, Michelle. Thank you for that. Yeah, Terry, you're right. She says philosophically, let's see, a lot of ERs only address the immediately visible complaint, then send you off to your PCP or your, private care or referral specialist for a more complete look at the problem, which I wish to God they would have done. No, they didn't give me a brace. They didn't give me a boot. They said, stay off of it for 6 weeks. And luckily, I had a brace at home from like a ankle sprain like 5 years before that. I didn't get the boot till, a couple months later. And then was in it for months. And anyway, yeah. If even in the ER, I don't care how busy they are, you're paying a fortune to be in the ER, especially if, like me, you got an ambulance ride. You demand that whatever that injury, that malady, that whatever is, that they look at it from every angle that possibly can. And if there's x-rays that need to be involved, I don't care if they're like, well, I don't, if your limb, your body part is like 3 times the normal size, you demand x-rays on the whole damn thing. The whole damn thing. Well, your insurance might, I don't care. I will pay the extra for the x-rays so that I don't lose 2 years of my life. Anyway, lessons learned. Judy, I'm with you. Cancer, my God. Yeah, Hollywood art. Scout Falls. When I dragged my whole family, my husband's family, and their young children up that trail day before yesterday, I remembered it not being a terribly difficult trail. I knew it was a little rough, but I had taken my kids up there. My husband's family is amazing. So many good people. They were troopers. My God, they were troopers. Connie, number one, congratulations on being a survivor. I'm so happy for you. So incredibly happy for you. And absolutely no regrets. I already have buckets and buckets and buckets of regrets. I don't want any more. Bonnie, 100%. She says she fell off her porch and broke her hip, and it all seemed to happen in slow motion. And absolutely, in those moments, it's so weird how time, that's why we say time is like a construct, because it's so different when you're in that, you know, moment. Very strange the way that works. And also very strange the way that our brain kind of blocks out certain parts of it so that even seconds later you can't remember what just happened, parts of what just happened. It's very strange. I don't know why. I don't know why it does that, but it does. Very strange. Yeah, Alyssa, look it up. Yeah, I'm telling you, American Fort Canyon, it has the most gorgeous trails and things to see and do. Amazing. Hollywood Art, thank you so much for that. I think um, I would love to think that I'm brave, but I think a lot of it is also, it's really just stubborn, annoyingly stubborn. Yeah. Because I am. Oh my God, I am. Yeah, Judy, we all have these obstacles, and it's down to us if we're going to overcome or not. Brooke, I am going to be more careful with supporting my ankles. I'm going to be doing strengthening exercises, and I'm going to invest in some hiking boots that provide a lot more structure for the ankle than sneaks do, than tennis shoes do, or sneakers. Oh, Pamela, my love. Oh, Pamela. She says, thank you for sharing. You've given me a lot to think about. In March, I tripped and ended up in a boot for a month and a half. Now I have little panic attacks thinking about going for a walk. Oh, Pamela. I wish I had an easy answer for that. I don't. I've been working for the last year on facing my fears that way. Ice, rain, mud, stairs, gardening, any uneven surface. I have little mini panic attacks with every single one of them. Used to be huge panic attacks, and I was in therapy, and uh, not nearly as bad now. Not nearly as bad. I really think the only answer to that is facing them. And then the more that you face them and overcome, hopefully the smaller the panic attacks get. But I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychiatrist, I can only go off of my own experience. But you are 100% valid in having the panic attacks thinking about going for a walk. I hear you. I just hope that you don't stay there. I hope. Bonnie, my darling, thank you. You are a treat and a treasure. Do it, Pamela. Do it. Get out there. Let me know how it goes. Be careful. Be cautious. But go. And if at all possible, enjoy it. Hollywood Art, absolutely. You are so right. The bottle will go on the tree. That's the bottle tree that my brother made for me with rebar that I found in the dumpsters. And then the blue bottles are either from Bonnie or Patricia. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was Bonnie that sent me those, but I could be wrong. Yeah, Alyssa, lots of crazy stuff. Terry, if you're still here, I was diagnosed with PTSD, with severe, debilitating PTSD. I could have qualified for a handicap placard, a disability stipend, all kinds of things. But I never did. I never pursued those. I never. The only thing I pursued, even a little, was talking to a lawyer and having them explore the situation. Yeah, severe, debilitating PTSD. But we're working through it. It's taking years, and it'll never 100%, like, there'll always be that thing in there. Of course there will. But I'm still here. I'm outside. We're moving, we're doing. I was gardening on uneven soil. I couldn't do that, what, a year ago without, you know, yeah. So progress, but it takes a long time. But I mean, they told me it'll always be there. It's always going to be there. Always going to be there. But it can be manageable. Yeah. Connie, oh my God. Connie, thank you for that. Thank you so much. I appreciate that very much. Thank you. Oh, Hollywood, crying is good for you. As long as you don't stay there. Don't stay there. Cry, flush it out, and then keep going. Connie, if you can live forever, let me know how. Alyssa, I 100% agree. Be aware of your surroundings wherever you go. With the way the world is right now, especially in the US of America and other places, I'm not going to go into all of it. You guys know that. Be aware, be careful, be cautious, but also try to enjoy it. Don't let the fear and all of the uncertainty and the things beyond our control stop you from living. Hollywood art, that would be amazing. I went through so many poetry classes when my degree is in creative writing, English, with an emphasis on creative writing. So many poetry classes. I'd like to think I got better at it. Not great, but better than I was. Yeah, Terry, I 100% agree. Crying does some good brain chemistry things. Absolutely. It's cleansing. Oh, Brooke, my God. Well, that is determination. But I'm sorry that you had to drive stick shift all those hours and work those shifts, and especially in a nursing home where I'm sure you were doing lifting and all of that. But I'm grateful you were able to. I'm grateful you were able to. And I'm so glad I didn't have to. That was a thing during my experience. I was so beyond grateful. One, for being a YouTuber and not having to go to a regular job when I couldn't walk, and grateful for my husband and him being just such an amazing provider, and for me having such a team of people around me, family, friends, loved ones, that saw me through all of that and helped in every possible way. Really lucky. Baby steps 100%. Vicky, you have to. Vicky, you have to cry. Don't stay there, but you have to cry. It's your body needs to release all that. It needs to flush it out. It needs to feel. And I know that's difficult. Those difficult feelings that sometimes we have to sit with. You have to, or you will burst. And that's not good for anybody. Yeah, Renee, people can absolutely be cruel. That is that is so true. Bonnie, I'm doing my best to confront it. I absolutely am. Yeah, oh my God, Hollywood, you know what's going on. You know what's going on. Like I said, I don't want to get into all the politics and the da da da, but Hollywood, if you know anything about Utah, you know about how all of our public lands are up for sale right now. Yeah, if you want to throw me a thumbs up before you leave, I'd appreciate that. I'm going to try to get through the rest of these comments and then I'm going to wrap it up. Claudia, my darling, my sweet, thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know, like I said, I don't know if I'm brave or strong or just so incredibly stubborn. Like those, badgers or honey badgers or whatever they are. What are the things that grab onto your foot and won't let go? That might be me. I just keep going. I just keep going. Every minute counts, Connie, absolutely. Kristen, my darling, 1, hello. I'm so glad you could be here. And 2, thank you. Yeah, Judy, I agree with doctors and therapists. Find the right one. Cancer does not define you. Absolutely. Same with you, Judy. Good for you, Judy. I'm glad you got that. I'm glad you won. I wish I could have, but that's just not the way it went. It wasn't meant to be. And I had to accept that, move forward, learn from it, and share what I learned. Hopefully help other people not end up in the same situation. Art is a wonderful way to express. Carmen, hello, my sweetness. Oh, Carmen, it's so good to see you here. Carmen writes dark poetry and naughty poetry. That is marvelous, darling, marvelous. Good night, Kristen. Connie says, I want to write a book about my journey and it be a kid's version so they understand more about cancer. Do it. Make it happen. Oh, and thank you for that. I appreciate the support and the encouragement. Connie, do it. Get it done. Make it happen. Absolutely. You got to do it. Let us know when you're doing it and when it's done. And with that, I think I've gotten through all the comments. Thank you so much for spending some time with me this evening. I promise there will be the dumpster diving video that normally comes out on Sundays. That'll come out tomorrow. I think you'll get 2 this week, actually. Yeah, I think I have 2 for you. Anyway, have a beautiful day. Have a wonderful week. Make it a wonderful week. Even with the ugly and the dark and the whatever. I do hope that you make it beautiful. Okay? All right. Have a great night. And we'll see you all. Hear my chair? Da, da, da. Can you hear the squeak? And that's just me embracing the happiness and the squeakiness and just living. All right. Have a good night. We'll see you all real soon. Thank you so much.